name is Pilar Mejia with Republic Services. Um, Republic Services has been a long-term partner with the city of Cudahy since the 1990s. We have a local office in the city of Long Beach. We have experienced drivers who provide consistent, reliable services. We have fully integrated environmental solutions companies. We have recycling facilities, organics facilities, a plastic polymer center in Las Vegas, and a sustainable landfills. Republic Services ha sido un socio a largo plazo de la ciudad de Cudahy desde los años 90. Tenemos una oficina local en la ciudad de Long Beach. Los conductores sindicales experimentados brindan servicios consistentes y confiables. La compañía de Republic tiene de soluciones ambientes totalmente integradas como instalaciones de reciclaje, orgánicas y centros polímeros, plásticos, vertederos sostenibles. This is our local team, Stephen Herring, our area manager, our operations manager, Aaron, myself, and we have a team of two sustainability advisors and a supervisor, municipal supervisor, Ruben. Programs available to all residents. Trash and recycling service weekly. We serviced on Wednesday. And as well, we have coming up soon, we'll be having the organics program, which is a food composting services. And we'll hear more of that as time comes. Bulky items. Bulky items is something very important for us that we are addressing more and more now, being a little bit of changes. Bulky items are free to residents and multifamily properties. They're good service every Wednesday. One thing that is very important to know is the bulk items are to be set up the day before by 6 p.m. If the items are taken out before 6 p.m. the night before, fines can occur. And again, we need to ensure these items, we recommend these items to be pulled by 6 o'clock the day before. And why? Because at times, if you wait a little longer, if you take them out the same day or any time after 6 o'clock, you run the risk that you might miss the driver. Container exchanges. Containers, you feel free to call Republic Services to request a bin exchange, whether it's damaged, broken lids, broken wheels, or if it has a lot of graffitis, you guys can contact Republic Services by calling 1-800-299-4898 to schedule an item, an exchange at no cost. Programas disponibles para todos los residentes, servicios de basura y de reciclaje. Pronto agregaremos servicios compostables de alimentos y orgánicos, artículos voluminosos gratis para los residentes y propiedades multifamiliares. Las colecciones son los miércoles y recomendamos que los artículos los saquen al día anterior para las 6 de la tarde. No antes de las 6, tiene que ser después de las 6 para no ocurran multas. Intercambio de contenedores, también pueden llamar al 1-800-299-4898 para programar un cambio de contenedor si está dañado o tiene graffiti. Bulk guidelines. Bulk pickup is provided weekly for residential and multifamily properties in Cudahy. Bulk collection only occurs on Wednesday. And the bulk collection is already included in your monthly rates. So if you call the office to schedule a bulk item or you take them, there will be no additional fee for that. Another item that is extremely important is that the driver will only be picking up 10 items on Wednesdays. And again, a reminder that all items should be placed out on your curb after 6 p.m. on Tuesday so that they wouldn't encounter any fines. One of the things that we're not picking up or is not considered a bulk item is hazardous materials or construction waste allowed. Owners or managers are responsible for tenants' move-outs or vacancy and should provide dumpsters to not rely on bulk collection. So if you have an apartment building, someone is moving out of your property, is coming in, they're cleaning up, you can always call the 800 number to order a temporary container suitable for your cleanup or construction that will benefit in, or other than taking these items out on collection day. Pautas para artículos voluminosos. La colección de artículos voluminosos se realizará semanalmente para todas las propiedades residenciales y multifamiliares en Cudahy. La colección de artículos voluminosos será realizado los miércoles y la colección es gratis, no hay tarifas y son nada más 10 artículos por semana. No saque los artículos antes de las 6 de la tarde los martes, porque si no puede, si los sacan antes de las 6 de la tarde el día anterior, pueden resultar en multas. No se permiten materiales peligrosos ni reducidos de construcción. Si tienen apartamentos y si alguien inquilinos se están moviendo o están llegando, tiene limpia, pueden llamar a la oficina al 1-800 para rentar un contenedor y así poder quitar todos la basura o artículos extras que hayan de tener por semana. Overloader containers. This is something that we brought up last year and it's something that is happening effective January. Any containers that are overloaded, if there's trash over the tops of the containers, you can close them. That is considered an overloaded container. And all the waste should be fit into the containers with the lids closed. If the material is above the lid or outside the container, it's considered an overload. An overloader container have increased cost and increased likelihood of trash spillage. Overload containers are subject to a fee. So if you have a container, whether it's a metal bin, kind of what it looks like that, or even a residential cart and it's overloaded, you can always call us and add another container or add another day if needed. Contenedores sobrecargados. Para garantizar que sus residuos se recoja como se espera y evitar multas, no se deben sobrecargar los contenedores. Todos los residuos deben estar adentro del contenedor y las tapas cerradas. Si el material está encima de las tapas o afuera está todo tirado, se considerará como que está sobrecargado. Los contenedores sobrecargados aumentan los costos y aumentan la probabilidad de derramar basura. Los contenedores sobrecargados están sujetos a una tarifa. On this slide, so anytime a container is overloaded, there's excessive trash, the driver reports that. And how they go about that, they take a picture with the truck and that is uploaded into our system, which is the screen in the middle, and that's what it looks. It's like a link. Dispatch then can click on it and they can see the picture that you guys see on top for commercial. And the same thing happens for residential, which you'll see the photos on the bottom. So anytime the container is overloaded, that will be reported as such. One of the things that we're doing, and it was brought to our attention, and that one of the last workshop was for residential. Since they don't get invoice, they want to know how are we going to know this and not wait to the end of the year. One of the process that we're doing for extra yardage for residential is we'll get a report, a monthly report with this instances, and we have a team that will be reaching out to our residents to let them know. Pictures will be provided upon request. The same thing for commercial. The only little difference about commercial, a team will reach out after the second occurrence. And why? Because commercial customers or multifamily with metal bins, you'll see that on your invoice. You can always call, or once someone reach out to you, they can provide a picture of the overload. Then we'll talk to either the residents or the owner of the property and, suggest or offer other services, or perhaps you will benefit for getting a larger container or adding additional service day to avoid those extra yardage or overload containers. The new policy and fees for Republic services. And the city of Cudahy have implemented this new policy. And again, we started a conversation last year about the overloaded containers and the fees that apply effective this January. All instances have warning before charge occur, and this comes back to us calling residents or business owners or property owners to let them know about the overload containers. One of the things that our drivers are also doing, they will leave an OOP tax sometime, anytime there's a reoccurrence, and it will let you know if it's a warning, a first penalty, a second penalty, and then also they'll have how much is the fee for that occurrence. So this will be taken, put it on the container, a picture, and that picture will be uploaded in the system, and residents or business owners will be able to get that as well. For residential, the first occurrence is $25. The second will be $50. The third, $75, and thereafter. For commercial, the first occurrence will be $50. The second, $75, and $100. Then thereafter, after the third. The difference for commercial is after the third overage notice within the 3 months period, Republic Services in the city has the authority to increase the service for these commercial multifamilies or businesses to avoid the overloads. And again, the owners will know about these instances because we'll be reaching out to everyone before any changes is done. For transparency, we will be providing this information also to the city, so they'll know which customers are we reaching out, which customers have the overflow. And a lot of times for commercial where they have metal bins, a lot of times they will benefit from getting a lock device just to avoid any illegal dumping as well. Nuevo proceso y tarifas. The Republic Services y la ciudad de Cudahy han implementado una nueva política y estructura de tarifas relacionadas con contenedores de basura sobrecargados y artículos voluminosos. Todos los casos reportados tendrán una advertencia antes de que se produzcan cargos. Como en la slide anterior, cada vez que el driver reporta que hay un contenedor sobrecargado, alguien de Republic Service va a llamarles para darles la información y decirles que un contenedor estaba lleno. Pueden proveer fotos al cliente para que tengan eso para cuando les vayan a cobrar. Para residenciales, la primera vez que tengan un contenedor sobrecargado será $25. Después de eso será 50 y la tercera y de allí adelante 75. Para lugares comerciales o multifamiliares que tengan contenedores grandes, la primera vez será $50. La segunda 75 y de ahí adelante $100. Con la diferencia de comerciales que tengan contenedores grandes es que si tienen varios contenedores sobrecargados en un periodo de 3 meses, la ciudad y Republic Services pueden aumentar el servicio. Y claro, de toda esta información se le va a proveer al cliente antes de hacer algún cambio para darles la oportunidad de quizá poner otro día más de servicio o un contenedor más grande para que le ayude en referencia de los contenedores sobrecargados. Y esto empezó ahora en enero. Y esta es nuestra presentación. Si tiene alguna pregunta, if there's any questions that you might have regarding the slides.
Thank you, Pilar, for that presentation. Hi, I'm Juan Arauz. I'm the Assistant City Manager and Community Development Director. Want to thank our representative from Republic Services for her presentation on trash and rules and potential implications if the trash rules aren't followed. So if there are questions for her at they can be asked at the end of our next presentation, which is our city presentation. And to kick that off is our Public Works Director, Raul Diaz.
Hello? Oh, yeah, can you hear me now? Okay. Start. There you go. So hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation. My name is Raul Diaz. I'm the Public Works Director for the city of Cudahy. I would like to start by saying that leaving your bulky items on the street is not only illegal, but also it causes a unsafe and a hazardous condition, for residents. We have to remember that we have a lot of people, especially children going to school in the mornings and they using sidewalks. So if they encounter some of these bulky items on the street, it's a very unsafe condition for them. In the past, the maintenance department used to pick up the bulky items around the city, but this action, it was consuming a lot of resources, manpower from the public works department, so we stopped doing this. Also, it was putting our employees in an unsafe condition because we don't have the trucks with lift tails, to pick up these items. Another thing is that when we had reports about bulky items on the street, we had to stop doing some improvements on the parks and all the areas, to go and address this issue. And this was causing, for us, not to complete some of the tasks, that we had to do every day. So what we have decided now is that every time we see a bulky item on the street, we're gonna report it to the code enforcement division, take some pictures, document this. We also going to report it on the app, on the city app, and we're gonna have code enforcement reach out to the manager or the property owner about this situation and open a code enforcement case and provide a violation notice. So what is the parkway responsibility of the property owner and the manager? And we just want to be clear that the property owner responsibility is to maintain the area between the curb and the sidewalk clean. And this includes this area to be free from trash, debris, overgrown vegetation, also to ensure that the landscape within this area is properly maintained. This is with the purpose to provide a safe condition to the pedestrians using the sidewalks. And if we notice some of this trash or debris, overgrown vegetation, bulky items, we'll start reporting this to code enforcement division so they can open a code enforcement case on the property. So what is new within the city of Cudahy? We have the app, which is My Cudahy app. And the purpose for this is to provide an additional tool, to residents to report any parking violations, potholes, power outage, property maintenance, signage, street lighting, and some other items, that the residents may feel that is not working. Also, for bulky items, what you can do is you can call the Republic Services at 1-800-299-4898, or you can report this to the Public Works Department at 323-773-5143, or as mentioned to you, using my app, My Cudahy app. Any reports that we get through this app will be forwarded to the Code Enforcement Division and also the Public Works Department. And we will reach out to the manager and start, as I mentioned to you before, the violation notice and the code enforcement case on the property to make sure that we take care of this violation. And with this, it concludes my presentation. So I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Just before we go to questions, on the last slide, again, just to summarize, Republic is looking at addressing the issue of the overflow bins, which we know that that's an issue here for various reasons. It could be that maybe the properties are just too dense, or maybe the properties need more service pickups per week or larger bins. So we heard on the overflow issue, and that Republic is enforcing by way of fines. And as it relates to the other trash issue, the bulky items, the city now is taking the approach of, we are going to enforce the rules, which in the past, we were doing the part of helping by picking up the bulky items. But the reality is that property owners are still responsible for the operations of their tenants. And that means that, as tenants come in, they should be aware of what are the trash rules, trash pickups. And the city and Republic, over the past few months, we've held several workshops to inform the community of these rules, inform tenants, inform landlords, and we're here to help, right? And the end goal is to keep Cudahy clean, make it look beautiful, right? The end result for us is not to collect a $25 citation from property owners, right? That's not what we want to do, right? We want to work with you guys to keep Cudahy safe and keep it clean. And to that effort, you've heard how Republic started issuing and assessing these fines, and the city just started issuing notice of violations this month, where we have noticed that bulky items are left outside, and either they've missed the pickup date or they're just outside of the days where they're supposed to be trash outside for pickup. And again, the hope here is to achieve compliance, right? And to do that, we issue the notice of violation, but the city, we can also issue citations, or if need to, if we don't get compliance and there are recurring issues, right? City can place a lien on the property if the issue just does not get resolved. So with that said, again, we're here to help and do our part to keep the city clean, and appreciate our partner with Republic Services for being here. And now we'll open it up to any questions or comments from those in person or online. So, any questions from in here?
The first question would be the bulky item. If you have a multiple units on the property, is it still 10 per unit or 10 per address? How does that go?
For yes. So it is, but I have to double check because I believe for multifamily, are we having the same thing for residential? I have to double check that. I believe so.
Most of Cudahy is apartments, so I
Yeah.
just need to know
So
that
it is 10 items per location.
per location.
Yes.
Okay. And then as far as the overflow for the dumpster, when you have a holiday, it pushes everything back one day, and by the second day, it's super full.
And that in that sense, in that particular situations, we do understand and we try not to. So the system automatically does it. Well, the driver automatically does. So what happens in our end, we'll work with the customer, and a lot of times those are waived when it's a holiday that way, whether it's New Year's, Christmas, things like that. We understand there's usually additional charge because it's a day late. So
Right.
we understand that, and then those charges will be waived.
And sorry, I got another question, but when do you have any guidelines we could pass to the tenants?
Absolutely.
So they can be on board, because they're not here and they don't. So I would need something I could give to them or talk to them individually so they understand the rules.
Absolutely. I can, if I can get your contact information, I can always email you brochures. I can come by your facility, your property, and drop out some outreach material.
Okay.
We also do technical assistant, meaning if you would like for us to come and talk to your tenants, do kind of like a small presentation on the weekends, we can do that for you on the evening. Anytime at between 6 and 7 o'clock, we'll be more than happy to do that to ensure that your tenants are, meeting or at least sorting the material the right way. And that way they don't think that it's just you. We want to make sure they educate. So I can provide you with my business card as well and give you that information.
I had one more, but I don't know where it went.
If you remember, we'll come back to you.
In bulky items,
The compost situation?
no, not yet. That's something we're still working along with the city. However, I am working on doing a flyer and more education to start sending out to our community to start the conversation. So bear with us. That's coming really, really soon. You're very welcome. And then another thing for bulky items, one of the things that bulky items are like furniture, rugs. It could be branches, but they need to be bundled, can be more than 6 feet in length, can weight more than 60 pounds. Bags of trash or boxes of trash, that is not a bulky item. And I know that's a lot of things that we see. So we need to be mindful that when, people are putting their stuff out are actually furniture and not boxes or bags of trash.
And to your point about informing your tenants or city, we have thought about some information flyers or brochures that we can distribute so that either you can give them to your tenants or maybe something that can be placed somewhere on site so that people can see it, and they'll see it every day, right? Maybe near wherever the trash bins are stored so that they know when they need to leave bulky items outside and when is bulky item pickup. So, any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Mr. Diaz, how are you? Okay, good. Uh, how we can make the people from Republic to close the bins after they dump the trash? Because this is something that I struggle every time that they show up and dump the trash, no? Then they bring the bin back and push it to that niche, no? But the thing is that they don't close it, you know? And when they don't close it, I have to come out and pull that beam out. That's heavy, and it's a little thing at the entrance that make it hard to pull it out, no? So that's very important for us to have the workers to close the cover of the beam. So can we have a fine for Republic if they don't close the beam?
Absolutely.
because
No.
because my concern is the smell of the
Mhm.
beans because they've been dirty for years. Nobody cleans the beans, and the flies. When you have the bin open and people start throwing trash in there and nobody close it, I'm not available, I'm not around to close the bin, then it's a lot of flies. So how we can establish a behavior with the workers to create the habit to close the stinky bin, you know?
Mhm.
That's one question, no? And the second will be the area where the spills happens, because we've been having spills for years and years and years. I'm super happy that you guys are talking about and open the conversation because this is an issue. And this is an issue that I've been documented with my landlord for a long time because where I live is, like he says, is very dense, no? And the volume of these containers are insufficient to deal with the amount of trash that we produce, no? So for a long time, the argument was that Republic doesn't have bins available to provide a second bin for the area where we live. So for years, all this area has been dirty with the spills and nobody cleaned that area. Nobody go with a hose and soap or whatever they use to clean the area, no? That is part of the Republic responsibility or the landlord or who is in charge to clean these areas where the bins are located because if we are talking about safety and all these things, let's do it completely, no? But that will be my two questions, no? And if I have a chance to speak later with Mr. Diaz, I have another issue about safety, but I don't want to take all the time.
To answer your first question, drivers should at all times close the lids unless they're being told otherwise by the property owner, and usually that happens when their containers are under a chute. I will provide you with my business card, and maybe you can provide me your address, and I can bring this to their attention. But at all times, the container must be closed. And again, it's a safety concern for us when they left it open, especially if it's in a multifamily, there's kids, things like that. To your second question, Republic Services, the driver only empties what's inside the container. And that is why it's so important that there's an overflow. And with this new process, when we reach out to the owners, we can identify what is benefit for them, whether it's adding another day or getting a larger container to avoid any spillage. And if you're just referring to like the enclosed area with the containers, that is the responsibility of the property owner to clean that area, unless a Republic truck did any anything liquid like, I don't know, oil spillage or anything like that, then that is our responsibility. But anything else within inside the enclosure, not, that is the property owner's responsibility.
Yes, I just wanted to add, and yes, you can talk to me after the workshop. You may want to reach out to the health department. Sometimes the health department, can help you with that if it is in a safe condition. It's the same as reporting, like mold and roaches or that type of issues. So you may want to give them a call.
And, and while the city, we're now taking the position of not picking up bulky items like your furniture or rugs, we still will continue to pick up debris, what we would consider debris, and it's just miscellaneous trash. We would do that. Like if a blanket's out, on the curb, we would still, our crew still goes around and picks that up. So the smaller items we're still doing, we're just not picking up the larger bulky items at this time.
Do we have any questions on Zoom? Please raise your hand. No questions via Zoom.
Okay, and I think with that, we can wrap up the meeting. And for our guests, you guys are welcome to stay and talk to us afterwards. I see that Republic brought some flyers that we can distribute to you guys. So with that, thanks for attending tonight's workshop, and we'll stay in touch. Thanks.